All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatsoever time you are listening to this. This video was supposed to come a bit earlier than this, but due to work and some unforeseen circumstance that came up, um, I had to attend to some stuffs that were impromptu. So sorry about that. So but I think from this video and then up to the next our next class, I think would consistently be back fully. I didn't forget about you or the whole project. Okay, just doing some works and then some upgrade also to make sure we get the most. So this is basically um the interface of Figma, and then I'll just run us through how the function works, and before we go into, fully into our curriculum. The last time on the group chat, I explained how that we have some things that we be looking at as theories per se, which would help us fasten up the whole process. And part of it is introduction to design thinking. Okay, and so I would want to just quickly rush down to what design thinking is. Okay, if you are in this class, then you must know that you are not one who would henceforth think like other persons, because you would have to start thinking like a designer. Okay, you have to start thinking like a designer. You have to get that particular mindset of how a designer thinks. Okay, so what do we mean when we say design thinking? So I will make this as easy as possible for us. I'll make it self-explanatory to us with the use of probably examples, and then with examples and all. Okay, so design thinking is a pattern where designers think, a pattern how we view perspective. Okay, a normal person would see this as just a box. A designer would see it as a box that can be turned into this, and then into other shapes as this. Okay, so it means we think through different angles by our calculations. We do not just perceive things based on mere interactions with them, but then we see it through the broader picture. Okay, so design thinking has to do with your ability to think outside what a normal human being would think. You have to think way farther, way deeper, and then understand systems of designs. Okay, I would be using which project should I use as an example? Okay, but before then, we'll come to that. So design thinking is a formula where designers think. A normal human being would just see this right thing, and then what a designer sees is first color, second the font, third the size. Okay, I'm talking about this particular design thing, not this object, not this. Okay, so what a designer sees here is these three things: the color of this text, the font of this text, and then the size of this text. Okay, four rather, and then the position of this text. Okay, so it's shaping our design mindset, that we no longer perceive things as normal human beings, but as people who have perspective of things. Okay, at an average, a lay human being will see this as an oval or a cycle rather, but then a designer would have it to have something like this. Okay, these are angles we can see it as. or something like this, still designer doing his thing, or something like this, still a cycle being giving birth out of all these stuffs. So it helps you think broader, it helps you think wider, so you don't just see images just like that. Anytime you see billboards, anytime you see mobile applications, you start wondering how these things are being created, who created them, and then what inspired him to create them, and then how he actually went about creating them. Okay, so design thinking is like a cycle of one, having his mind being burdened by perspective, by opportunities, by um, angles of how things are. So somebody would see this as a triangle, but then a designer may end up seeing this as um, a star, because he believes that if I have this, I could make it a star. Okay, could make it a star. So while having random sight of things, one of the things as a designer is you become inquisitive about them. You start asking questions. How did this person achieve this? Okay, I think this high time I just import some designs or picture per se for us to use, and okay, okay. So you'd see something like this, and then you start asking yourself questions. How did this person come about this? How was this developed? Can I do it? What are the errors on it? It's design thinking. Okay, you have to start thinking at that range of that. I'm not teaching you bad criticism, but then one of the things you must understand is you are a designer, hence you have the right to criticize, and then to be criticized also. Okay, so design thinking is you going a little bit crazy when it comes to I don't want to call it overthinking, but concerned about how things are being done, and then why they are being done, and um all of that stuff. So design thinking is me seeing this thing and then literally try to replicate it or make it better in my own way or so. So you could just see this, and I am tracing towards the creation of um, another version of it. Not like another version, but okay. Let's imagine this is it. I don't want to be. So anything you see here, design thinking is what can make you recreate it. Design thinking is what will make your creativity to be more deeper. Once you are neglecting the aspect of you not being able to think deeper, analyze stuffs, bring out your best, especially when it comes to the creative space, then this is not actually your class. Okay, so we are going to be seeing multiple stuffs, and we would be exploring our design thinking over time. All right, be exploring that and then see how we would move on to the next. Okay, user research. User research is a system where as a UI UX designer, you must understand or know how to research using some basic tools, which I would show us now. The number one tool I use for my user research is Google. Okay, you would have a lot of opinions on Google, a lot of things to search about, and then know about, or links that would head you to where your answer is. Why is this research important? Okay, I think the other day I was speaking, and then I said I'm having issues with Wema Bank application, hence I would go about creating a new one because I don't feel their user experience is satisfactory in nature. So UI UX researcher is one who go deep down after giving a project, or if he wants to venture into a project, then he would definitely start researching about the existing project, and then if there's anyone close to that or any company who has done that before, who did it for them, what were their failures, what was their fears and all that. So while I was going deep into researching about um, Wema Bank, I understood why they had to make their system that tedious and a little bit frustrating along the line. So immediately I figured that out. I just backed up and then just created the app for just the design sake, not to do whatsoever. So it means that research has actually helped me skip some stuff. Unlike me jumping into conclusion and then doing it and all that. So if you're given a project, one of the first thing is you do is research about it. Let's take for instance, which product should we use now? Let's use Coca-Cola. If I were to develop a user product for Coca-Cola, I have to research about them. I have to know if they had a website before, if they have an application before, what is the fault of the application. Ask fellow people or people who use or used to take it. Um, would life be easier for you if Coca-Cola has a website or an address? I mean, what we are trying to do is to solve a problem. Okay, so in your UI UX research, there are some questions you definitely should learn to answer. I mean, those questions include the problem. Okay, I wish I could write it, but since it's a recorded video, the problem, the solution to it, okay, and then the measures to be taken. And even it would be nice if you include that with your statistics. So basically, we are looking at how to go deep into researching for a product before you venture into it. I recently was given a project called Wheel 54 or so. And then it's a transport system where handicapped persons will use. So I had to go and research deep about handicaps, what actually used to make them to be transported, what challenge they do have if they are being transported, and then that's, I mean, finding out the problem and then finding the solution to the problem, and then how to make everybody benefit from it. So I ran down a lot of research. In fact, I'm still currently doing a research on it, just to find out, or just to make sure that everything is all on set. So you as a person, you must learn researching. Now after now, I think I would drop on the group chat places where or how you can do research about products, about websites, about whatsoever in life. You have to learn how to make research, have to ask questions, how to come up with a comprehensive document that answers the who would use this app, the why the person would use the app, and where the person would use the app, and then what the app really is. So we would in time get to define these things for us clearly. So next we are having here is brainstorming. Okay, this is actually part of the hard part of it. A lot of UI UX designers are lazy in doing this brainstorming, and then it happens hand in hand with the project and the project manager. Okay, so sometimes our project managers or whosoever that would hand over projects for us to design a phone application or a website, they may not even have necessarily per se a lot of knowledge concerning it or a lot of understanding their view. So it is now your job to brainstorm about this app. To brainstorm, I mean, you have to also look at the business perspective of the application or the product rather, the business perspective of it, how it would go well with the market system, and then how to also synchronize it with your users. Okay, so the place of brainstorming is not to be overemphasized. We should learn to brainstorm before you will be given a project and then you don't know how to do it, you don't want to skip it. No, you take your time, brainstorm, understand the system, and then before you can jump into it fully. So brainstorming has to do with your ability to deep deep dig into um, procedures of how to make the application work better. So the next we have sketching and wireframing. So this would be actually the last um, on this, and I would record another video or so for that. So this is our wireframing, and then wireframing is just a rough representation. Okay, I would advise us to get a paper and pen and then start wireframing from that. You just get your piece of paper and then roughly sketch through what you or how you want the app to be. Okay, you can just, if it were to be a paper, okay, I'll just have it this way, and then so this is wireframing. These are just representations of either text or squares and positions where things would stay. This one is if you are using a pen, okay, but then you can actually use something as of this to do your wireframe, which is a little bit more decent. Okay, so this would help your programmers to understand how to bring out the best from your designs. Okay, it's not as if you are submitting this to your programmers, but the orderliness thereof, if you have this, your work will be in order. Okay, so that's why we are having wireframe and then sketches. Then again, sorry, another place where sorry about this, another place where we can do a lot of rough work is here. This is called the Fig Jamboard. This would help you to have a platform, a big platform. Is a very very big board that you can just use to draw, design, sketch, whatsoever you want during your editing process. Sometimes it's best to come here first. Okay, you do your thing here, analyze, report, get sticky notes, and then write on them for your project that you are handling, just probably a reminder. Okay, so this is the space we do our wireframing. Okay, you can use this to do your wireframe, and then you can use the AI version of it to generate a mind map or timeline or whatsoever. We are going to come to that in our further class. So but for the meantime, this is a wireframe. It's just a rough representation. There's no good wire or bad wireframe. You just represent it accurately and then we are good. Okay, just the way you are seeing this being represented here. Okay, this button transaction history, this button here, this is why this is another space here which represents. So you can just decide to keep everywhere where there is text representation, fine, I would make sure that it is ash color. Okay, so this is what would be having in the meantime as we proceed. The next would be doing is coloring. Okay, thank you very much. Make sure you watch to the end of this video, because I would expect that we all know this before our next class. Thank you.